I'm gonna rat KP out. You've been going there since before you were 21. Okay, back to our roots.
All right, we'll say a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for all of the opportunities in front of us. We pray that you just continue to bless us and continue to guide us. And we pray that anything that we say here, glorifies your name in any way it can and helps others grow. And we pray that they hear what they need to hear. And we just thank you for everything you're doing in our lives. And we pray that we continue to stay faithful and stay fixed on you, Father. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
All right, welcome to another episode. Why do I always say this? Welcome to another episode of Sweat Equity Podcast, brought to you by M4D Concepts. I am Chris, this is Bailey, Jawan, and KP, and today we're going to talk about a little bit about getting back to our roots and things that we've done in our businesses across the board to try to battle the inflation that is going on in the country right now, and all the high prices and everything like that, making it super unaffordable for people to really enjoy what they used to. And right now we're in our industry, in the bar restaurant industry, we know for a fact, because the numbers prove it, that we're in this lull of non-drinkers and non-going-outers and things like that. And not that we necessarily want to encourage people to always be out drinking and things like that, but it's one of those things is, I don't know if it's a Gen X thing and they're just not drinking and maybe they're doing more drugs. I don't really know. But there are also things that are available to people now that weren't available in our heyday, per se, not to age us, but there weren't THC drinks. They're available to be able to be had in bars and at home. And I mean, you can get THC drinks at freaking
the gas stations. I feel like
you can get them everywhere now. I think Central Market and things like that. And so there's things available that I feel like that have caused people to stay out of the bars, stay out of the restaurants and things like that. We all know inflation is one of them, but one thing that we've done in our business is try to kind of get back to our roots and make things affordable. We had a real kind of come to Jesus meeting about what was going on in our businesses, and just to be blatantly honest with you, why some of our numbers were down, and really taking a deep dive into what that looked like and why we felt like we were kind of on trending down. And it's not just us. I mean, we have, because of our POS, we have a system that shows us the trending reports for our peers, which I'm not sure how far that.
I think it's a 5 mile radius. For
5 mile radius. Okay, yeah. So it'll compare. It doesn't give us their numbers or exactly what bar or restaurant it is. It just tells us in a 5 mile radius, anybody that has a specific POS, this is kind of where they're trending. So we've always been on the upper end of that, I would say, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the upper end of a downward spiral is a good thing necessarily. No. So we took a deep dive into all of our cost, into all of our beers, liquors, and things like that, and compared them to our prices when we opened over a decade ago and then to what they are now. And I would say it was quite eye-opening.
Yes. We really got away from who we were.
Yeah. And so I think we just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about it today and let you know why we made the decision that we've made and what we did about it.
Yeah.
So
I think that what was going on is, over time, whenever we would get fed a price increase from a liquor company or a beer distributor, it was our natural inclination to raise our prices a little bit too. So whether it be 25 cents or 50 cents, usually the prices that are raising on their end is maybe a keg goes up $5, which kegs nowadays are anywhere from, $160 to $200 something dollars. It's crazy. But so every $5, what we would do is raise prices just a little bit. And when you do that over time, maybe you're, not realizing how expensive things are until you actually sit down and take a really deep dive. And I think that's what happened. Like, it was actually one night that I was sitting there and someone had texted me something about how they were afraid to see their tab, and we have the ability to look it up. I looked it up. I saw the tab. I saw one of the draft beers for $7, and I was like, golly, that is expensive. And it was like the first time that I'd ever looked at it that way.
Yeah.
Expensive for the type of beer that it
Yeah,
was, though.
expensive for the
For the
type
type
of beer.
of beer, type of bar, type of, I mean, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so legit, the next day, we kind of just started looking at all of our prices. And I
Yeah.
think we really realized, like, it kind of dawned on us that, you know, since you had opened Mad Hatter 12 years ago, for the longest time, you really prided yourself on being one of the more affordable bars in the area, because where we are, there are a lot of bars within a mile range that are definitely more expensive.
Yeah.
And I think what we were getting to was almost matching those same prices.
Comparing.
And right, we were like,
Which is,
we should
don't
raise
do
high
that.
noon to $7 because that's what everybody else is doing around us, and it's
Yeah.
what made sense. But when you stop and take a step back, you realize that doesn't make sense. That's not who we are. That's not what we want to be. We want to get people in here because they're one of the most affordable.
Uh-huh.
And like my goal as a marketer has always been, you know, getting people in the door for the first time, because I know once they have y'all as bartenders or the customer service that we offer, that they'll be back.
For sure.
And so one thing that we were not able to do anymore was get people in for the first time because of our prices. And so we really decided to cut back on those.
Oh, yeah, significantly. And really go back to what we used to have back in the, well, we didn't go back to $1.50 long necks and wells. That is insane. But I mean, we still went back to $2.50. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And people are complimenting us daily on, thank you so much. I can actually take my $20 bill that's people have
Spread it.
left over these days. That's really, I mean, if you have any money at all after paying your bills. I mean, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul to pay our electricity bill these days. It's hard out there. So we want to be that place that people feel like I can treat myself. I can relax for an hour.
Yeah. It's like, I guess like the biggest thing as well too is that we were the bar for people to get away from that. And
Yeah.
so it was kind of like gut wrenching to see like, man, they're still staying over there. They're not coming to us anymore. What are we doing wrong?
Yep.
Why am I not seeing you? And like one of the big things to me is like one of the first days we changed was, I forget his name. I want to say Scott, but I could be wrong. Sorry if your name is Scott. Sorry if it isn't. But he goes, man, thank you guys, because we slowly stopped coming here because you outprice yourself. Like you pretty much,
That hurts.
like that was their happy hour spot. Like the glass people, like him. It was like a bunch of veterans with them. Even the sellers group.
Yeah.
For them to say something and still stay there, granted, they still stay there, but they were happy to see like, man, this is why we chose this place, and that's like super, I guess, like happy to see that that's what they wanted to see again.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I had said was y'all be prepared, like our sales are going to go down for a few weeks, because it's not that
Absolutely.
we have less people coming in or that they're, drinking less, it's just cheaper.
And
But
word
I
of
think we
mouth.
only had that for a couple days, honestly.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen,
Past two Sundays,
been
Our
It's
sales
been
have
great.
been consistent, if not a little bit more, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
we just
Yep.
looked at our Monday night sales and they're actually a little bit up. So that's really positive. And that is on a day where our wells and domestic bottles are $2.50 all day long. So,
Yep.
it's every happy hour now.
but Mondays and Wednesdays, it's
All
all
day.
day.
It's all day. Nice.
Yeah. It's all day.
Yeah,
I guess I
girl.
misunderstood that.
Yeah, girl.
And Michelob Ultras are considered domestics at our bars.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
so come get your Michelob Ultras from our bars.
Totally, you were welcome.
Yeah, 250 Michelob Ultras. That's crazy.
And so one thing that happened years ago that kind of really, I guess it was more of an experiment to see how it worked, because us three have all been in the bar industry, and we all know what it's like to literally have, and not saying that you don't, but coming from the bar industry, to say, man, I only have 20, 30, 40 bucks to my name right now.
Yep.
When it comes to that, it's kind of a psychological thing. Most people don't realize that everything that goes into building a bar, pricing everything, literally the positioning of everything in the bar, how you set it up and how you do it, it all comes down to a science. Most people don't understand that. They think that, we just put something here, we price something there, and that's how it is. And so years ago, we do a open mic night, comedy night on Mondays, and our clientele at that point became a lot of open micers that would come in to sign up and things like that. And we don't pay them to do that, but they just come up and they sign up and they get to do it. Well,
Yep.
they were basically coking us and spriting us and watering us to death to where, sales were just terrible. I want to say they were around $400 or $500 on a Monday night, but they were just going through bags of Coke. And when I say that from the, man, that sounds terrible. Coke and
Coca-Cola.
Sprite.
I'm telling you right now, they could not afford Coke or Coca-Cola.
So when you have a Coke on a bar gun, it comes in a bag. So it's concentrated. So there you go. Anyway, but they would, just, hey, can I get a Sprite? Hey, can I get a water? This, that, and the other. And I'm like, why are these people not drinking? I don't understand it. And I really had to think about it and put myself in their shoes. And I'm like, they're not coming in with a lot of money. They're broke comics trying to make it, And so what we did is I went ahead and I cut back prices to, I think, $2.50 wells and domestics. $1.50. So when you have a $20 bill in your pocket and a beer costs you $4.50, $4.75, something like that, in your mind you're like, man, I can only have 3 and have a couple dollars to tip. And so you're likely to hold on to that. But if your drinks are $2 and you're like, man, I can get 5 drinks for $10 right now, and a shot maybe, and still have money to tip, that plays into the psychology of, man, I can make my dollar go a lot further.
Yep.
And so at this point, and this is, it may sound bad, it's not necessary, but it's just human nature. When you have 3 or 4 drinks in you, you're not worried about the $20 bill anymore. It is, hey, give me a $5 shot. You're okay with spending that. And not that we're trying to take everybody's money, but you end up, obviously, it's like going grocery shopping when you're hungry. It's a terrible idea, So what ended up happening is we adjusted the prices and we ended up doubling sales in a matter of a week or two.
Yep.
Because again, they felt like their dollars were getting stretched further. So instead of keeping an iron grip on that $20 bill, coming in with it, drinking Coke, drinking Sprite, drinking water, they would actually spend $10 or $15. And when you have 15, 20 people spending $10, $15, $20, that adds up and it doubles your sales.
Yeah.
So we really took a deep dive into what we were doing in our sales and our prices here in our current times. And don't let me give false information, because when we do this, you have to figure in rent, bills, and things like that. I've been blessed to where my rent has only went up $5 or $500 in 12 years.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
It wasn't anything crazy. Whereas we're around the $45 square foot. You have other places that are, being charged $75, $80 a square foot. So to try to do those cheap drinks, you have to add that into the prices of the drink, and to not do that is a severe gamble to do that. So, I don't want to misdirect anybody to say, hey, go slice all your prices if you've got a $30,000 rent every month. But if you have somewhere around a $5,000 or $6,000 rent and you're doing numbers, then you can afford to do it, because like we said, we sat down and we did a deep dive and we mapped out literally everything, every beer, what it cost us at our cost, every liquor bottle, what it cost us, and every shot out of that bottle, what it cost us. And like she had said, we noticed that we had kind of just went up with the price changes, and it really wasn't necessary. And in the long run, I feel like it hurt us.
I agree.
And so when I say everything is a science in the bar, it really is. And, everywhere from where you place your chairs and your tables to even why this door is not as wide as most people would think it would be. There's a specific reason I didn't want this door any wider, and that is because it creates what John Taffer, he is actually a very smart guy, the guy from Bar Rescue, he calls it a butt funnel. It forces people to interact when they're walking by each other. And when you interact with one another, hey, excuse me, man. Hey, sorry. Oh, sorry, ma'am. That breaks the ice on a possible conversation to be had. And when people get caught in conversations, They stay longer, they spend more money, they have a more enjoyable time, and they're more likely to come back. So little things like creating what they call a butt funnel to force people to interact. If one is coming this way and one is going that way, you have to have some sort of interaction in order to get somebody to go. So when I say it's a science, everything really is broke down to a science, and that is literally whether you put a long straw or a short straw in a drink, whether you put a straw in a drink at all. We know if you want to slow somebody down drinking, you don't put a straw in their drink. Because most people drink slower like this. You put a big straw in there and they're going to down it. You put a skinny straw in there, it's going to take them a little longer. Everything like that. So we really wanted to get back to our roots, and we did a really, really deep dive in a price analysis, and we slash prices in a not so slash prices time of in the world right now.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and we are getting compliment after compliment after compliment.
Give people back their neighborhood pub. That's what we built.
Yeah. And we're not greedy people, and that's what it comes down to being. You know, when you have people like we spoke about, you know, across the street. Now, granted, their rent is more, but an $8 Michelob Ultra is insane.
It absolutely
Because,
is insane.
Just
you know,
Cherry's World prices.
Well, yeah,
seriously.
I mean, an $8, you know, Bud Light or something like that is crazy because, you know, I'm not going to reveal all of our secrets, but at $1.08 at our cost is insane to charge $8, $9 for a bottle of beer. It's crazy. No matter, I mean, at that point, if your rent's that high, you're really gambling on if anybody's going to buy that beer for that amount of money. So I think that what we did is a really smart decision, and right now it seems to be paying off.
Yeah.
And even when you price stuff like that, I mean, you're not going to stay in business for that long. I remember specifically, I'm not going to name what bar it was, but they were selling their wells for $12.
That's crazy.
$12 wells.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, there are 22 to 24 shots in a bottle of well vodka that is $5.50 to $6 for the whole bottle, the whole entire bottle. So that puts your shot at what, 14 cents? Is that what we did the math at? Something like that.
Essentially, you're
18 or
doubling
something.
you're doubling your profit off of one drink.
Exactly. So they were selling theirs for $12. I was like, they're definitely not
I
going
don't
to
think
make
they made it
it.
60 days.
I think they
didn't
made
make
it.
60.
Yeah,
they didn't make it 60
they
days.
didn't make it 6 months. So I mean,
Yeah.
or 3 months.
Yeah.
No, not even two. They barely made it 2
So
months.
They did not make it.
Yeah.
And that's
The
one,
truth of the story is.
and one thing that, you know, Juwan just mentioned is getting back to that neighborhood pub. And that's what we have always prided ourselves on, because we're not really uppity people. We like to go out every now and then. We'll dress up and go out and have a nice dinner, go to a show or something like that, to where we actually dress up and do it. But for the most part, us four, we're very casual, you know, business
Yes.
casual if need to be. But,
messed
you know,
up.
Juwan and I are in gym clothes 99% of the time.
Yes, y'all are.
So we always want to, you know, provide an environment that we ourselves are comfortable in. And that's something that we've really strived to do with Seared as well, is make it that neighborhood restaurant with a nice little bar on it, with affordable food, high quality food, but to be able to come in and basically what we're wearing today and feel very comfortable and not out of place. And
Yeah.
so while we're trying to build this place over here and say we're trying to be this neighborhood restaurant and get back to our roots, it didn't make sense for us not to be our roots in the places that have allowed us to build this restaurant, you know, over the last, you know, we've been here for, you know, 10 years now. And if you combined all the bars, you're looking at over 20 years worth of bar ownership.
Been there 12
you know?
years.
Well, and one thing that I've kind of been keeping track of or looking at is our average ticket prices, which is obviously something very important as owners to look at. And the first couple of days after our price slash, we're down a little bit, but they're actually up now. So not only are our average ticket prices up, but also our number of orders. So we're getting more people in the door, and they're actually spending a little bit more.
Yep.
Because it
Which you
would
would
stay a little bit
think that they'd
longer.
spend less because everything's less, but yeah, they're able to stay longer. And y'all know better than I do, but how does that affect the bartenders? Are they getting better tips?
Yes and no. I mean, sometimes it can still be the same. Just think about. There are people like me, like, oh, I got 20. Oh,
Keep the 20.
Oh, I got $20. if there's 250 drinks, I can go in and get 3, and I got enough for like 6 tacos from Jack in the Box. So
What do you mean, like you don't tip?
Amen.
I tipped them. Don't get me wrong,
Oh,
still
okay.
tip. I feel a tip.
You get 6 tacos,
You
3
don't get a
beers,
tip.
and a tip.
You
Yeah,
get a
you
tip,
don't
no,
get a
you
tip,
still
but
get
I
a
get
tip, like
tacos.
3 drinks, but you
Yeah.
get tacos, because tacos were 2 for 99 cents. Remember that?
Man,
So-
I mean, also it depends, like, how good are you at bartending? Because I know if you walk in my bar and my drinks are $1.50, you get 2 drinks, I keep the 5.
Oh, Bailey
So,
did.
I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but I know what I'm thinking.
You know what?
This is mine.
Speaking on
We're
what
gonna bargain.
Speaking on what KP said with the average ticket price going up, again, it goes into the science and the psychological part of it because, again, at $2.50 a drink, you're looking at two well drinks for $5.
$5.
If you have $20 in your pocket, you can really get away with having about 5 drinks, hopefully not in a small amount of time, but in the time that you're there, you can get away with having 5 drinks and still be able to tip the bartender decently.
Yep.
Now, here's where it changes, is when you have 3 to 4 drinks, you're willing to spend the extra money. You don't stop at the 2 drinks. When you
Feeling
say,
good.
oh, I've got $5, I got a little bit more. So whereas if drinks were $5 and you only had a $20 bill, you may only have the 2 drinks, tip a couple bucks, and put that extra $7, $8 in your pocket, depends on what it is. Maybe you have 3 and you tip the other 5, who knows? But again, once you get those 2, 3 drinks in you, you're like, man, I still have this. Well, give me a shot of that Jameson. You know what I mean? And so where somebody may come in and only have, just say, 2 whiskey cokes, and that's normally that's all I'm gonna have because they're $5, that's $10. Well, now if you have 2 whiskey cokes and you're only at $5, that's when they can say, hey, give me a shot of that Jameson, and you still have $6, $7 left over. You can tip 3 and you may even walk out, may even have another drink after that.
Or get 2 tacos.
Or get 2 tacos.
Yeah.
Well, not
And that
much.
is really how that check average builds because you get a little loosey-goosey
Yeah.
with your money. And again, the environment that we love to provide is that environment where if you're there for 2 or 3 drinks, chances are you've made a friend sitting next to you,
yeah,
or
every
you're
time.
you're shooting the breeze with the bartender or the guy next to you or the girl next
Yep.
to you. So at that point, I mean, again, we're not trying to take people's bank accounts, but at some points, that's when they'll start reaching into their savings. Say, hey, I'm going to transfer some money, or man, I really don't have that extra $20 to spend, but I'm going to go ahead and swipe this card because I'm having a great time.
Yeah. Well, and bar hopping dwindles. So
Yeah.
in this area, people bar hop all the time,
Yeah.
right? So you may have way more than $20. You have $500 that
Yeah.
you're ready to go to a nice dinner and do whatever with. Maybe you have a date. Well, instead of bar hopping, you're going to stay around here because
For sure.
you can hang out for a lot longer for a lot cheaper.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to come into Mad Hatter and not make a friend and then come back the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, that is the most reoccurring thing that I saw while working at Mad Hatter, and it was the coolest thing. I mean, we still have the same regulars from whenever I bartended here 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We
It's
have butt
the coolest
funneled a
place.
lot around here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
just so-
coolest place.
It's very intimate.
8 years ago.
And you know, I always
Shut
tell people, and I've not heard me say this before, is anytime somebody tells me, hey, I've been into your bar, and I'm like, oh, did you have a good time? Like, yeah, I just had a couple drinks and I left. And I always tell them the same thing. Hey, I challenge you to go one more time, and I promise you, you will have seen and made a friend there that maybe they saw you there last time, if you're personable, obviously. Or the bartender will at least remember what you drank or what you had to,
Yep.
or what your name was. One of the two. They may not remember your name, but they'll remember what you had to drink, or maybe they remember your name and not what you had to drink. But I challenge you to go in one more time, spend an hour in there and see if you don't make friends. And that is one challenge that I have put out to everyone because that's what creates our regulars. It's the experience that you get with the great drink prices and the people that surround you when you are in there. It literally starts giving it. At a
It's
point,
cool.
it turns into FOMO for people.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Because somebody's gonna
Every
ring that
day.
bell too.
Yes.
Don't forget about the bell. Somebody's
yeah.
gonna ring the bell.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna ring the bell while you're
Well,
sitting in there.
explain the bell.
Yeah.
So the bells, there's a sure idea, I believe, but originally it was let's do a cheap shot. Back then, they had bottles of Kamikaze, they had bottles of another shot, whatever.
And y'all would, it was, I don't think I did it, but we would pre-prep shots.
Yeah, you
Superman's.
could also pre-prep shots. Yes, you are right there. And then the idea was, hey, ring the bell by the bar top shot. So that forces people to kind of like just interact with others.
Yep.
Somebody else be like, oh man, that's kind of cool. Let me do that. And then it turns into Mike ringing it 7 times for the
And
entire night.
Also,
That's how you up those ticket prices.
and also, you kind of get a little tipsy, and then this person's walking to the bathroom. Oh, so you bell, and they ring it. I hold you accountable.
That's the best.
I am holding you accountable. I don't have any money. Well, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
gonna. Yeah.
Well, it's like,
Yeah, rules are rules.
Don't just ring my
it also
bell.
puts you on the spot too, because everybody's like,
Yeah, it is no longer just the bar top. It is
Yeah.
the full bar.
It's the full
Yeah.
bar.
And everybody
Ring at your own risk.
It's kind of
Yes.
cool. It's kind of cool. Somebody rang it the other day after the additional Matt had her, and I was like, "You do know there's like 60 people in here, right?" He goes, "I forgot about the new addition."
Yeah. Bailey said it.
Maybe the rules should be just in that
The
room.
funniest thing is when somebody doesn't realize what the bell is about and they reach up and they ring it and the whole bar top goes crazy and they're like, what just happened? And
That hurts
everybody's
my
like
heart a little.
thanking them for
Yeah,
for
thank
buying
you.
the
I
shot.
got
And they're
the
like,
shot at
what just happened? Like, you just rang the bell, because they'll
And
ring
it's
the bell
right there.
without reading the
Yes.
wall that this big. It says ring the bell by the bar shot. You know.
And then, but people would always say, no, I thought it said ring the bell or get the bartender a shot. So they would always think it said bartender, and I'm like,
No.
This is the official hazing of being welcomed into the family
Yeah.
of the Bad Better.
I'm like, why would you want to ring the bell and buy us a shot? That's
Yeah.
No.
But it is, and what's fun is that people, because it's such a regular bar, people aren't greedy. Some people are, but people aren't greedy, and they'll take turns ringing the bell.
Yeah,
You know, they'll
absolutely.
There's a whole like poster over there now. It's like they play a game where they
Yeah.
ring the bell or something like that. They take,
They
Scott
tally.
bought it yesterday.
I was wondering what that poster was for.
I was nosy finally, like, what is this? It's like, they bought shots last time.
Yeah,
So they
it's,
keep
it's a
track?
tally. Yeah,
they
it's a
keep-
tally.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my
Of who's
gosh.
ringing the bell.
And honestly, like, who has the biggest balls? Is that kind of like who, like in a sense? Like, I've done it more. I've done it more.
What I'm really glad they don't realize is it's like who spent the most money.
That's exactly how I look
You know
at
what
it.
I mean?
I'm like,
and then it's one of those things where, as a bartender, when I first put that bell up there, it's one of those things, like, it's just an unspoken respectful rule. If somebody rings the bell, you don't order the most expensive shot in the bar.
Yes.
And so you'll have somebody ring the bell and be like, hey, buy the bar a round of Kamikazes or something, and you'll have that one a-hole at the end, hey, give me a shot of Jameson or something, and you're like, or something way
you
more
don't get to
expensive. Give me
choose.
a Casamigos, and you're like,
1942.
and people do that.
yeah, you're like, no, bro, chill out.
Yeah.
Either you get what
You're
you're-
not ever ringing the bell. You're never paying for anybody's shots, and you just sit back waiting on
Always.
somebody to ring it,
Right.
and then you want to order a shot that's 3 times more than they were intending on buying anyway.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
wouldn't give you a
We'll
shot
give
at that
you one
point.
third.
No, I'm like, you don't even get one.
Not
Either you
say
get
that,
this or
here's your shot of water.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, also, we didn't speak on that bell has been rung so many times. The first one has got wore plums come out, fell off the wall.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
have had to replace it. So
3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
I was thinking just one.
That bell's been around the ring
It's
here.
getting, it seemed like
So-
hang it back up. That's
Some little
what
fact that bell came from Crystal
I
Beach
thought-
down in South Texas. Yeah.
oh heck yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought
Never
for some
been there.
reason I was stuck on Denver or Colorado, but Matthew the Moose came from Colorado.
Yeah, the moose came from Colorado.
His name is Knuckle.
It's Knuckle. Oh, I thought it was Matthew.
Moose Knuckle.
Moose Knuckle. Thank you. That's,
Me and Derek. Yeah, I like Matthew better.
it's not me.
I like Matthew better. But yeah,
PTSD.
yeah, that was it came from a gift shop down on Crystal Beach. I was down there with Nate. And we went to the beach house down there one year and
fun.
we picked it up and we hung it up there. But anyway, well, we definitely got off the topic a little bit, but I think it just it does really speak about the prices and what it can help you build
Yeah.
and sustain with having a really, really great regular base of people that come in that appreciate, not only enjoy, but they appreciate that we're not price gouging. And again, we're not greedy people. We're just trying to pay the bills, put a little bit of money in our pocket, and make this thing last.
Yeah.
Versus running up to $7, $8 wells, $12 wells, and being open for 3 months. It's just not sustainable. And especially today, in today's economy, it's really not sustainable. And that was one of those things that, again, when we took a deep dive into it, it was like, man, the prices that we're at right now are just not necessary. We can cut the prices, hopefully double the sales, the ticket sales, and bring more people in and keep more people for longer. Let them enjoy it, and let them tell their friends, man, hey, you're not here by yourselves. Come on over. Come have a drink with me and things like that. I did see a deal the other day, I think it was last Friday, where I feel like, again, we have notoriously been ripped off for our prices, our ideas, our
goodness
just setup. And not to say that we invented the wheel, but when you're in a small radius and nobody else is doing what you're doing, and they see what you're doing is wildly successful, and you have them just steal it and take it to their bar. I did see a post the other night from a bar just down the street where it was like, man, I rang the bell and got some of the cheapest shots that I've ever had. And I was just like, man.
Which way? North, south, east, or west?
I want to, it's east of here, over off of Rainy Street. I forget the name of the bar right now.
Rainy
Street, whatever it's called.
Race Street.
Race Street.
Okay.
It's a little bar over there, and I saw them, some guy that's definitely been in here, like, rang the bell, and I'm like, wonder where you got that idea.
Compliments to
Gonna
us.
go over there.
But again, it's not, I'll be
Flattering.
100% honest with you. The bell idea came from a bar I went to years ago, and I made the mistake we were just talking about. I reached up, ding, 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 and they're like, yeah. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? You just bought the bar around. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And, that's,
He's like, done.
that's what happened to me, but this was years before I ever opened Mad Hatter.
That's
So it
good.
wasn't like I was definitely going to, and I don't even know if
That's why
that
you
bar
don't
still
touch that.
exists.
It's
but
very rare to be the first to
keep
do
your
so.
hands to yourself.
and that's why I say, I mean, and you're right about that. To
Keep
be
your
the
hands
first,
in your pockets.
literally everything's been done.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you do any sort of bar tactic, bar games, anything like that, everything's been done. You can be new to that area to do it. And the thing that we've always prided ourselves on is not taking people's idea and just ripping them off. If we have an idea, such as Sear, we don't take ideas and rip them off and bring them to our bars. If we decide to go, man, that's a great idea, how can we make it better? Even with dating back to turtle racing. I know this is, if anybody knows about that, but when Keith and I flew out to California to see turtle racing, we saw it on an episode of Robin Big,
Okay, I was
and we
wondering.
looked up what bar they did it, and they did it at a bar called Brennan's, and it's in Venice Beach, California, and they did it every Thursday. So Keith and I were like, man, let's bring this to Woody's. So Keith and I flew to Venice Beach on a Tuesday, hung out, and on Thursday we went to Brennan's and watched turtle racing. And I'll be honest with you, this was like the world famous turtle racing bar. It was so boring.
Oh, really?
It was so boring. They had their iPhone hooked up to a small speaker. That was their microphone and their DJ. And it was just wasn't really an experience where we were like, oh my God, this is awesome. And so when we did it, we walked out and we were like, bro, we can light this up. This can be so much bigger than what they're doing with it right now. And that's really how we came about with turtle racing. But we wanted to put our own spin on it. We wanted to liven it up. We wanted to make it a party. And obviously that's what we did. It's still going almost
It
2 decades.
was a party.
Yeah, and it's almost 2 decades later that it's still going on across the street. I obviously don't have anything to do with it anymore because it changed venues and things like that. And they did bring Keith and I into a meeting and they asked us, hey, do you care if we bring this to this location and would y'all be a part of it? And Keith and I don't know if y'all remember, but we were still a part of it at the beginning. But it just, when they started bringing the strippers in for the, stuff like that, stuff that just morally didn't sit right with me, that I didn't want to be associated with. Nothing against them, but me and continuing to build my faith, it just wasn't a good look for me to be in that situation. And it almost cost me a big thing in my life because they saw it on social media and they almost didn't reach out to me because of it. So I had stepped back and they told me, they were like, man, we were leery about reaching out to you. And it was actually to meet Jake. Yeah. So that was a big deal to where I had to step back, and I'm glad I did. But again, we like to take these ideas and make them our own, and so it will be no time before the bars around us start dropping their prices and trying to match our prices because they're going to be afraid that we stole their regulars and this, that, and the other. But no, actually, they're just coming back home. You know what I mean?
For real.
I think what a lot of people forget as well too is just like, if you're busy, they're like, if they're next to them, they're busy.
Right.
If they're busy, the other person's busy. Like we're trying to get it back to where this corner, that side of it, everybody's having business too. Like we don't like seeing our neighbors closed by any means because that means if they're closing, business
less people around here. People don't go to like to go to dead locations.
Right.
So to be able to keep business going through here, it's helps everybody, but a lot of people don't understand that concept. But anyway,
I think one last thing before we close out, just speaking of lower prices, we got to pay a little homage to Woody's.
Yeah.
And just, they're our friends. It's how we all kind of came together. It's where you really got this, not your start in the bar business, Rezu's, but they closed their doors this past week. They're trying to find a new location, but they're a pretty big deal in Fort Worth. So just wanted to.
How many years?
25 years.
25 years, almost to the day.
Oh my goodness.
25 years. And most businesses don't last 25 years, obviously.
Not especially a bar.
That is,
I mean, like Billy Bob's.
Woody's was an incredible experience for me. Obviously, I did a tenure there, and I got so much experience and knowledge and things like that from Woody's. I met KP at Woody's. I essentially met Juwan at Woody's. And then I met Bailey around the corner from Woody's, but still loosely related to Woody's. And so like KP has mentioned several times, she has met some of her closest friends and even her husband at Woody's. And, so it was definitely a spot that we admire and we almost modeled ourselves after in a way because John and Rich did so many things right over there that it was just really admirable to see them make a 25-year run. And it wasn't,
that's so awesome.
Let me clear that up. It's not that they were doing a bad business and they went out of business by any stretch of the imagination.
That was the opposite.
It was a miscommunication, not a miscommunication, and unable to come to an agreement with the landlord is really what it was. So now they're looking for another location.
They'll be back. I think they will, but we had to pay a little homage to them just because what a staple in Fort Worth, and they do. They did things right.
Yeah, they supported us for the whole time that we've been open. I mean, just a cool bar friendship. I mean, and just genuine friendship.
Good people.
And then I'm gonna rat KP out. You've been going there since before you were 21. She grew up in that bar. She learned how to drink in that bar.
Guilty.
What a great place, though. They'll be back. They'll be back.
Absolutely.
But we love you, Woody's.
We
love you for sure.
But so we just wanted to share that with you guys and let you know a little bit of our business strategy and trying to get back to our roots and make it affordable for people to come in and enjoy a drink and have a good time. And in times that aren't really easy right now across the board when it comes to anything, bills, utilities, rent. I mean, we have more people moving to the DFW area than anywhere else in the country. So that just really skyrockets everything around us. All of the inflation around us is just crazy, from renting an apartment that used to cost $800 and now it's $2,200, things like that. So to be able to really get back to our roots and offer people a safe, fun place to come stretch their dollar as far as it possibly can, make friends, maybe meet a husband or a wife,
Yeah.
make lifelong friends. That's what we are all about, and that's what we really wanted to get back to. So we'll see how long it takes people to rip us off again, but it is what it is. We learned a long time ago. It used to infuriate me when I'd see it, but now I just take it as a compliment because nobody copies and tries to model things after a bad model situation. So it's always means you're doing something right and you're pushing forward. So we now take it as a compliment. And so anyway, we hope that helps. We hope you're a little bit entertained, and if you have any questions, comments, or anything, drop them in the comment box and we will get to them. We appreciate you as always, and until next time, God bless.